like. But I know what you like. Bet you're in the lobby, I was just around and you was checking it out. Hey y'all. Staring at me in the media, I had no doubt. Missed your flight, spent a week together, but it's all over now. Cause we try to keep it going when we got home, but our hands are in the club. So I'm waiting for the sun to come up. Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in with Rise High Radio. Let's talk about it with your girl. I miss y'all. I didn't go last week. I miss y'all. Kind of makes me wonder, do you think? Kinda makes me wonder why you think of me. Kinda makes me wonder, do you think of me? It kinda makes me wonder. Hey, that's LMA, y'all. Y'all know I rocks out with LMA. Hello, 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 family. So y'all see the title, cheaper to keep them. Cheaper to keep them, right? Cheaper to keep them. If you guys are listening to this, go ahead and hit that share button for me. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Rise High Radio. Let's talk about it with your girl, Melinda. And y'all, like I said, y'all see that title, cheaper to keep them. And when I thought about the title, I'm like, this is it just popped in my head. So I want to give you guys a couple of different ways that we can keep a relationship spicy, keep something going, because sometimes that shit get dead. Sometimes that shit is dead. So, you know, statistics say that 71% of men get bored in a relationship. That's a lot. 71% of men. That's a lot. 71%, that is, I wasn't expecting that, you know. Sorry. So 71% of men get bored in a relationship. Hey Jacoby, thank you for tuning in. 71% of men get bored in a relationship. That is a high percentage. You absolutely right, Jacoby. Compromising is actually the one thing that is on my list too. So you already done passed me. But he is right. Jacoby says compromise. Compromise is a key. It's the key. And it is on the list of how do you keep your relationship spicy? Because like I said, that shit get boring and you get tired of each other. And you're like, I'm over this. Like, what is going on? This is unacceptable. Like, I can't. No. So the first thing that you need to do in a relationship to try to keep things going, and sometimes this may not happen, but talk to each other. Talking with each other helps you to get out some of the frustrations. Now, don't get frustrated with your spouse because that had nothing to do with them. But if you talk with each other about your day, then that kind of helps to get out your frustrations. You know, like I said, don't flip the script and then put that anger towards your spouse. That's ass backwards. That's not how it's supposed to work. So actually talking to them about your day, trying to get those frustrations out, especially if you deal with human service. You know, we deal with a whole lot of things on a day-to-day basis. So talking to your spouse about your day. Sometimes this works, sometimes it's like, I don't want to hear it, but you should want to hear it. You should want to hear it as your as your significant other spouse, because you have no idea what they go through on a day-to-day basis when they're not with you. Um, so the next thing that kind of keeps the flow going, because like I said, it gets boring. Um, you kind of want to play together, have fun, throw pillows, have a water gun fight. Um, be silly, just be goofy with each other. How are you going to supposed to spend the rest of your life with somebody if you can't even be silly with them? When it's just always serious. Who wants to just always be serious? Laughter is good for the soul. So if you laughing with your partner and having a good time, then they'll have the energy and they'll have the willingness and the determination to go out and battle whatever the world has for them, because they've already increased themselves by laughing with you and having a good time. So when you laugh with your spouse, it gets them ready, and it gets them ready for the world, because the world ain't nice to them. So at least the thing you could do is be nice to them. That's just period. At least you could be nice to them. That's the least you can do, because of all the challenges that they have on a day-to-day basis. The next thing is make food together. Making food together with your spouse allows you to do two things. It allows you to spend time with each other, of course, and it also allows you to complete a task. Complete a task together. So if you guys are making a cake, you just completed that task together. I'm tongue tied. Task together. So you're doing stuff together and you've accomplished a goal. So making food with each other helps a lot. And if you got kids, bring the kids in. Bring the kids in. So making that food with each other, like I said, does two things. It allows you to spend time, and it also allows you to complete a task together, accomplish that goal, right? Hey, Steven, how you doing? Steven is actually doing, you know, tattoos. He is, when I say he is magnificent, magnificent. So if you guys want a tattoo, this your guy. This your guy. You see his name. Um, so like I said, making food together, that helps create the sharing time with each other and accomplishing a goal. Um, the next thing is you want to define your boundaries. I don't care if you've been in a relationship with the person that you've been with for 5 years, 5 weeks, um, or 5 months. You still have to have boundaries to your relationship. Period. That's just you have to have that. You can. You know what? I was talking to my sister. Um, And sometimes in relationships we get lost trying to mimic the same thing that our partner is. She put me, my sister is a little older than me, and she just really like it, that just touched me. So we always try to like mimic what our partner wants, or kind of mimic the things that they want, and then we lose ourselves and we realize, like, I don't even like this shit. Like, I don't like this ain't my thing, this his thing, or this her thing. So actually setting those boundaries and living, you do things together, but you also do things separate. You got to have your own identity in a relationship too. And like my sister was saying, sometimes we kind of, you know um subconsciously do it just because we want to please that person, or just because we want to lower the argument, so we kind of just go with the flow. But we lose ourselves in that in that type of setting, and we can't, and it's hard for us to get ourselves back because we have grown to be a mirroring effect of our spouse when we wasn't like that. They didn't, they we got together with each other because we were different, and had similarities of each other. Not that we're the same, doing the same thing, and you know liking the same thing and all that. So defining your boundaries and understanding that you are an individual in a relationship. um, like I said, we lose ourselves in this sometimes because we try to make our partners happy. So we kind of mold ourselves to do everything. Before you know it, we kind of talking like them. We're saying the same things that they're saying. So it plays a huge role, which sometimes is unhealthy, because when you want to back up and you want to do your own thing, you don't even know what you're doing because you've lost yourself in that person. Chris says, yes, yes, it's important. Some people don't respect your boundaries. Absolutely. Some people, or some relationships, they just walk all over. Like, they don't respect boundaries. A boundary that I would that I strongly agree with is that if your significant other is out with their friends, you don't have to call them 12 times. They coming back. They is. They coming back. You don't have to call them 100 times to ask them what they doing 100 times. The person ain't even having fun no more. They like, you know what? I'm just about to go home because he tripping or she tripping. I'm just about to just go home because it ain't even worth it at that point. You're not respecting their boundaries of them trying to um be be friends and be social without you. You're not respecting that boundary at all. So like Chris said, people don't respect, or significant others don't respect your boundary. They want you to mimic everything that they do, and they want you to be like a damn near a mirroring image of them. And I understand you guys have the same morals, values, and ethics, but when it comes to identity and being your own person, having your own characteristics, some controlling people want you to even be that for them, the same thing that they are, which is unhealthy, very unhealthy. And I'm glad my sister brought that point to me, because I was like, right, you are absolutely right. Um, in that sense too, when you are protecting those boundaries, let that person know how you feel, and what's going on. A person, if they, like Jacoby said, compromising, if you can't even listen to how I'm feeling right now and blow it off, then what is the importance of my being in your life? When your kids talk to you, you really take in consideration that, how they're feeling. You have to kind of do the same thing for your partner too. You just don't blow it off and be like, oh, it's all right. No, you really have to take that into consideration. Um, Someone else expressing their feelings and how they feel. That's just humane. Um, this allows somebody to be more comfortable with you. If I'm able to talk to you about how I really feel and don't feel like I'm getting attacked every time, um, then that makes me more comfortable with you. I'm telling you how I feel, and you're like, yeah, you're right. So it allows me to be comfortable. It allows me to be more relaxed, and I don't have to walk on eggshells with you, because I know that you're going to take me for who I am, whether I be wrong or right, and you're going to kind of let me know, like, yeah, you're wrong. Like, yeah, you wrong. But you're taking me for what it is, right? If you are tuned in, go ahead and hit that share button. Um, Go ahead and hit that share button for me, if you will, please. You know, the next thing that it talks about is being honest. Be honest about your relationship. Be honest about how you feel in your relationship. That's just important. You can't walk around like a zombie, and you can't walk around thinking someone is going to read your mind. You can't do that. That's not healthy. Chris says you cannot expect a person unknowledgeably to respect your boundaries. This is something that takes years to develop. Absolutely. It takes a long time to well, it should, you know what? I don't know. It shouldn't take very long to respect somebody's boundaries unless you have a controlling trait. So I'm going to say that it shouldn't take somebody long to respect your boundaries if you don't have a controlling trait. Now, if you have a controlling trait that you want to control everything, then yeah, that may take a lot of time. So what I was talking about was being honest about your relationship, being honest in your relationship in regards to the fact telling that person how you feel. Um, and even the small things. A lie is a lie. So even the small things like, did you take out the dinner like I asked you to? Oh yeah, I took it out. And then come to find out you never took it out. That right there just led to me not trusting you that you would handle business, or not trusting you that you would do what you're supposed to do. Just that simple lie of taking out food to cook. If you didn't take it out, you didn't take it out. But that little thing of not taking food out to cook and said you did, that leads me to think that you cannot, you will not um do what you're supposed to do, and you're not going to do what you say you're going to do. And when I confront you, you're going to lie about it. That's no good. Chris says it takes a while because we all have tons of learned behavior that we have to unlearn. Absolutely. So it takes a while because of the all the learned behavior that we think is good behavior, until we find out that that doesn't work for everybody. And then we have to unlearn that. Or some people don't. Some people don't do it. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to work on themselves. So, they don't work on it. They're like, ain't nothing wrong with my behavior. I'm good. And you're like, wait, what? And they like, no, I'm good. So another thing to like cheaper to keep them is actually you want to snuggle with your partner. Snuggling, of course, that gets you more connected with that person. That allows you to connect with their energy, connect with what they have going on. You feel a connection when you're actually close, skin to skin with someone. Just how your baby feels when you hold them to your body. You have a connection. Same thing with your spouse. Some people take that for granted, and they don't understand how important that skin to skin is, or even that hug, um, how important that is. Chris says, I used to think that relationships were universal, but all relationships are not created equal. Um, yeah. Okay, Chris, let me ask you, should they be universal, or should there not be a equal aspect in a relationship? Can you answer that? Um, should it be universal, like everybody should be on one accord, every relationship should flow like this, or should it be that kind of unequalness in a relationship? If you are listening to this, you could go ahead and answer that question. Should it be unequally? Should it be unequal in a relationship? Yes or no? Should it be unequal? I don't know. That's you know, that's what a lot of women and men, and you know what, when it's unequal like that, I do believe that it causes a power struggle. That's when you're fighting for power and importance in your relationship. You're sitting up here fighting for to be important. um I don't think that's a good entity to do, but when you don't matter in your relationship, you kind of take it personal. And you, like I said, it becomes a power struggle and you want to really fight. You want to fight to be important because you thought I was important before. So if you are listening to this, tell me if you think that relationship should be not created equal. You hit a key factor on that when you said that. Do you think that relationships should be unequal? That's a good question. That's a good one. I like that. I really do. So Chris says the relationship should be different because everyone on the planet would not have the same personality, of course. But when I talk about being unequal, meaning that um, there's always one person that's more superior than the other. Is that important? Should that be a environment that you should have in a relationship? Should it be one that's more superior than the other? Some people feel like that, and some people like, no, I really think that we should be equal. So what do you think? Do you think it should be unequal, or do you think it should be equal relationships, or do you think that it has to be someone that's more superior than the other? That's a tough question. So Chris says there are no set guidelines for relationship unity. Absolutely. So if that superior works for you guys, then let that be superior. But if it doesn't, then let some equalization come about. That's all about communication, and understanding each other, understanding the boundaries. So if I was in an abusive relationship and I go into another relationship that he thinks or she thinks that I'm superior, that she's superior, of course I'm going to shut down automatically because I just left an abusive relationship. So talking about that, being in tune with your significant other, knowing if they need that superior guidance or if they need somebody right now to be on their equal. um that's something that you need to discuss as a couple. um the text good morning and good night to your spouse, even if you're in the same bed with each other. It's important. Text those little sayings, send these little emojis, little heart emojis. Be sexual, be freaky in text. um that helps. That helps develop a relationship and continue the spice in the relationship. Chris says the only thing that should be the same is clear boundaries. Otherwise, y'all figure each other out and see how how to make it work. And that's period. That's period, Pooh. So send those good morning texts and good night texts, even if you're in the same bed with each other. That matters. That let that person know that you are on my mind right now. Um, because not just because you're right next to me, but you're on my mind because I love you and I respect you. Um, and sometimes we get so busy at nighttime, or during the day that we forget, but sending that little text message goes a long way. And it takes 12 seconds, not even that, I'm sorry, it takes 7 seconds for someone to send a text message. So encouraging your significant other, right? Encouraging them, letting them know you got this. You got this. Letting them know that everything will be all right. And you need to let them know that, because you need to let them know that they have your back. So, or you have their back. So when it all crumbles, let them know that I got your back. I'm right here. If it crumbles, we gonna work through it together. Um, whether it be a job, um, or going to school, something like that. Encourage each other. Um, and don't try to mold that person to don't manipulate them and then try to encourage them to do what you want them to do. So they may want to go to school, or they may want to do art, but you may manipulate the situation and be like, I don't think it's really that time for you to, you know, and even if it's not that time, tell that person why. Don't just say because I think so. You know, that's manipulation. That's definitely manipulation. And some people will play that role for the significant other to mold them to do what they want them to do, or follow their career path, what they want their career path to be. So hanging together in a group. So when you hang together in a group, you actually remember why you fell in love with that person. So you like, oh, he holding the door for me, or she fixing my plate for me. You know, you really kind of fall back in love with them because they are they showing their own personal morals, values, and ethics. So you like, oh, I remember. Like, you really fall back in love with them because you remember why you fell in love with them. Because they're doing those little bitty things that kind of caught your eye when you first had a relationship, or you first met them. Encouragement reinforces psyche. It does. It does. It does. And it brings a sense of calmness. It allows you to attack whatever battle that you have in confidence. Not to say that you as an individual are not confident, because we are, but knowing that your significant other has your back, and they attack anybody that's coming towards you, that, or defend you or advocate for you, that's a totally different type of confidence. Sweat together, work out together is very important. If you see that your significant other is about to go to the gym, ask them go to the gym with them. If you see your significant other doing push-ups, get out on the floor and do push-ups with them, but do the girly push-ups. Or if you see your wife or your significant other doing sit-ups, do sit-ups with them, sweating together. Sweating together, of course, once again brings that connection with each other. And then Jacoby said this, being willing to compromise. Um, that's what he said the first time. So actually being willing to compromise, you know that you're not going to always see eye to eye with each other, but be respectful to that person. Don't be argumentative about another person's point of view. Remember, this is your spouse. This is not a person that you want to mold to be what you think they should be, because it was their indifference that caught you in the first place, right? it helps you to feel confident with your mate, period. Exactly. So when you have that encouragement, when you have that um that mate that has your back with whatever, then you just feel comfortable, you feel confident. It's a different type of confidence that you feel like you can rule the world, Pinky. You feel like you can rule the world. So, like I said, being willing to compromise, understanding that you always will not have a point of view like your significant other. Never. You know, y'all might have some things that's together, but majority is like your own different values, you know. Um, the next thing, of course, is compliment each other, and that goes with encouraging each other. Encourage each other as much as you can. Like, you look super fly, like you so fly. I like your shoes, I like your haircut, I like your hair. Is that a new hair, a hairstyle? Is that a new necklace? Compliment each other is very important too. Travel together, always pick up new adventures together. Adventures together. Like I said, travel with each other, do new things together, um, always explore with each other. That brings another different type of intimate connection with that person. And the last one is be willing to do the work. Um, Everyone knows that a relationship is not gumdrops and candies and lollipops. There's a lot of things that you have to put in to a relationship. This is when it becomes unhealthy. When you lose who you are in that relationship. That's when it becomes unhealthy. When you can't even talk to a person without yelling and screaming. That's when it becomes unhealthy. Because now you're looking at yourself, the person that's actually getting yelled at. You're looking at yourself like, am I confident enough? Am I still what this person wants? Am I still relevant? So screaming that I am important. Remember, I was important because I'm important. Um, that's when the relationship becomes unhealthy. When you feel like that, you are not important in a relationship, and when the person is, every time, communication arises, there is yelling and screaming, um no matter what. So you got to really put in the work. You really got to compromise when it becomes to that. You really got to listen to each other, and we understand that people, and when you are away, the world will eat you up and spit you out, but you cannot bring that energy in back into your relationship, because it's going to, when you're in a relationship, the energy feeds off each other. So if I'm happy, then you're happy. If I'm upset, then you're upset. That's just kind of how it works. So if you are bringing that type of energy back into a relationship, then that person automatically is going to get that feeling too. So Chris says, yes, work, 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 work. So I just wanted to give you guys an understanding of how to kind of, what helps to keep the relationship kind of going, because like I said, this should get boring at times, and it's overrated at times, and you're just like, I don't even really like you. So keeping things together, because you love that person, but sometimes you're like, I don't even like you, really. But for a fact that you want to keep it going. So I just gave you guys 14 things just to kind of keep it a little cinnamony, a little spicy. Um, and keep that person or significant other important. right? Keep them important because it was a reason why you got with them, right? Because you thought that they were important to you and you wanted to um, spend some time, a long, long time. Right? So if you guys did listen to this, go ahead and hit that share button and share, share, share. Cheaper to keep them. I love her. Queen Naji. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I will see you next Saturday at 10:30. And y'all know I'll be late. So give me like 10:45, 10:40, something like that. Next Saturday, 10:30. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. This is my Linda with Let's Talk About It. I'll see you guys next Saturday. Peace.